It has been alleged by the Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary that the words socialist and secular have been removed from the preamble. Is it really true? What are the implications of it? What is the preamble? Can it be amended? Is it justiciable? Is it a part of the Constitution? When were the words socialist and secular added? We are going to know all that today from the perspective of your GS mains paper. Second, it is very important for you to be aware about this topic and stay with me till the end of this class. Do not at all worry about note making. Just pay attention to what I say because the notes are provided through my Telegram channel. That is by the name of Pooja Dwivedi UPSC. If you have any queries regarding this examination, you can talk to me on my Instagram. Now, these are the many facets that we have to talk about today. Before I begin, I would just like to tell you in layman's term what is secularism in India and socialism. Secularism is the freedom of every citizen in India to practice whatever religion that they want. And unlike countries such as the Pakistan, India doesn't have any official religion. Also, if I talk about socialism, it is a concept of distributive justice. That means each and every individual of the country should have an equal support when it comes to economic opportunity, distributive justice, political opportunity. These are the basic facets. So why do we need to know about it? Of course, from the perspective of mains answer writing and generally as well from the perspective of us being citizens of India. I have already told you that secular and socialist have been removed from the preamble as alleged by Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, and this has been inferred from the fact that when they entered the new parliament building and they received the copies of the constitution, from the preamble, these two words were amiss. So what does it mean? No. What is a preamble? Let's know that. Basically, we can call it an introduction to the rest of the constitution. It is also being called as the soul of the constitution. It gives us an insight in the minds of the forefathers when our forefathers saw that India has become an independent country now. What should our aspirations be like? So that preamble is basically a brief introduction to the aspirations of the people. It is based on the objective resolution which was adopted by the Constituent Assembly in 1947. Can you tell me in the comment segment that from which country did we adopt the concept of preamble? Do it quickly. Now, if I talk about the original preamble did not consist of the word socialist and secular. Original preamble was something like this: we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic. Now the current one should be sovereign socialist secular democratic republic, and to secure to all the citizens justice, liberty, equality, promote among them all fraternity. And of course, this 26th day of November 1949 do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. So these two words were missing. When did these two words come into the picture? Over the years of our government, Srimati Indira Gandhi ji, the former Prime Minister of India, the first woman Prime Minister of India, wanted to cement her position in the eyes of the country as somebody who is the leader of the masses. And to give a manifestation to that particular concept, she added the words socialist, thereafter secular. The problem is that these two words were added by the 42nd Amendment Act, which came into existence during the emergency period. And that is why the question arises, why was the need to add these two words? Was our Constituent Assembly not capable enough to understand that these two words should be there? That is the thing. So her basic slogan was Garibi Hatao, to eradicate poverty. So in order to ensure that people know that, she ensured that these two words are added. And it was passed in 1976. It replaced the word sovereign democratic republic to sovereign socialist secular democratic republic. It also changed the unity of the nation to the unity and integrity of the nation. I hope you understood that. Now, according to Article 368 Clause 2, Parliament can amend the constitution by passing a bill, and that is by each house. The bill has to pass in each house by a majority of the total membership of that house, and that means plus or add on that a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. And after that, the bill shall be presented to the president, who shall give the assent. Thereafter, it shall be amended. Because president is an integral part of the parliament. The president, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. Now, if I talk about the debates of the constituent assemblies, there were certain members who were in favor of adding these two words. First, we talk about K.T. Shah and Brajeshwar Prasad. They raised the demand to add the words socialist and secular in the preamble. But Dr. B.R. Ambedkar argued that we cannot tie the people of India, to a concept for eternity. If we jot down these two words right now, they may be suitable for the current times, for the current situation of the country. But what if it is not suitable for the future? So he made sure that constitution is a living thing, and the people of India can give to themselves whatever kind of economy they want to, liberal, socialist, whatever. This was his concept of democracy. People should be freed of any restrictive definition. This has also been cited by Subramaniam Swamy when he went to the Supreme Court and asked for the removal of these two words from the preamble. Now, let's talk about, is it a part of the constitution or not, or it can be amended or not. This takes us to the famous Kesavananda Bharti case. Now, Kesavananda Bharti was a state of Kerala. Here Justice Chandrachud said that it is a part of the constitution. It is not outside the reach of the Constituent Assembly. Why? Because it is very much evident from the fact that while we were adopting the preamble, it was put to vote, and it is unamendable. He said that as well. It is unamendable. But T.G. Palekar Justice said preamble is a part of the constitution and therefore is amendable. Because it is a part of the constitution, that is why it can be amended under Article 368. Fundamental rights are nothing but elaboration of the preamble itself. Justice H.R. Khanna said the preamble is a part of the constitution and it walks before the constitution. Just before we delve into the constitution, we have to know about the preamble so that we can get an insight what this country can be, how this country has been. Also, Justice S.D. Dwivedi and Justice A.N. Ray, they were very, this is a very interesting thing that they said, that preamble is a part of the constitution. Why? Because just above that preamble, we see the words, the Constitution of India, and that is why. Moreover, Justice Bake said that Article 368 of the Constitution expressly, that means openly, says that there can be expansion or diminution of the scope and powers of the amendment, and there is no limitation on the powers of the constitutional amendment which are found under Article 368. So under Article 368, yes, it can be amended. This was the majority judgment in the Kesavananda Bharti case, and thereafter we found the concept of the basic structure. The constitution can be amended until and unless you are not touching the basic structure of the constitution, and it is not anywhere given in the constitution or in any judgment that these are the principles that formulate the basic structure. But secularism, federalism, rule of law, supremacy of the constitution, these all are a basic structure, a part of the basic structure of the constitution. Moving on. Now, if we talk about the various debates around this, it's not for the first time that the words socialist and secular have been debated or have reached the Supreme Court. It's not for the first time. In 2008, in fact, Chief Justice of India, K.G. Balakrishnan, led a bench of 3 judges. Here, he rejected a plea which demanded the removal of socialist, asking for why do we need to restrict the word socialist? It's a facet of the democracy. Moreover, the Supreme Court also in the Samantha versus State of Andhra Pradesh said, socialism is meaning the establishment of the egalitarian social order through the rule of law. It is the basic structure of the constitution. Attains substantial degree of social, economic and political equality. Every person in the country should have a substantial degree of social, economic and political equality. That means it's a distributive justice. It's a social justice. Also, the distribution of material resources of the country to serve the common good of all. This has been furthered by the word socialism. In 2015 as well, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting used a picture of the preamble, copy of the preamble, in which these two words were omitted. However, the minister said that they were added during the emergency, so it should not be very surprising to all. In 2020, BJP MP Rakesh Sinha moved a resolution in Rajya Sabha, called for the omission of these two words, and specifically not these two but socialism, because he said that one cannot tie an entire generation to a concept. We can change over times, because the Congress itself, after adding the word socialism, has moved to neoliberalism. So why do we need to be attached to one particular word for an entire generation per generation? Now I hope you understood all this. Then comes, is it justiciable or not? If there is a violation of the preamble, one can move to the court or not? The answer is no. The violation of any principle mentioned in the preamble cannot be a reason to go to the court, meaning it is non-justiciable. But if the basic principles according to it get impacted, one can move to the court. Just on the basis of the violation of preamble, one cannot move to it. Now P2Y batches are starting from 22nd of September. These are evening batches. Many facilities will be given. CSAT, SA, ethics, language papers, Study IQ campus program is also there. Make sure you be a part of it. Just use the code PDLive so that you can get a discount. From 70,000 it will become 29,999. Mind you, these are live classes. Thank you so much.